What do you think your life is worth? And are you here by chance? Or perhaps you were created with purpose? Well, we're going to head right back to the beginning to Genesis and see if we can find out. Let's read Genesis 1:27 and then we'll dive in a bit deeper and reflect on what it means. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. Here we can see right from the beginning, the Bible grounds our worth in God's design. And we're told that we're not random accidents, that we have value, we have worth and meaning, and that we've got a purpose. And this verse is the foundation of human value and human dignity. God created man and woman in his image, and we've equally got worth and purpose. And he designed us to love one another and build families that reflect his goodness. And the beautiful part is when we live in that goodness, when we love each other as husband and wife, brother and sister, father and daughter, mother and son, when we do that, we carry his love into the world. I absolutely love this passage, and I love the way that the Bible goes far beyond this spiritual, supernatural book. It takes us down an intellectual path, not one of logic or reason necessarily, but certainly one that makes us think and question what we're here for. It forces us to question our assumptions about life, identity, and our worth. And if we think that we come from nothing, and when our life ends, we go to nothing, then surely in between, we're going to think that that is just empty. It doesn't mean anything. And if we think that way, then surely we'll think it's all about us. It's about what we want, what we need, what we desire. And that's not a great way to live life. But if we believe that we are created by God in his image, then that's a totally different story. Because when we believe that, we have eternity in view, and every moment is filled with purpose. When we come to realize that we were made out of love, and our purpose is to love others, that's an incredible realization. That changes how we see ourselves and how we see everyone else. It changes how we act, how we treat others, and how we live our lives. So when we think about what we're worth, we've got the option of coming from nothing, and we've got the option of being created with purpose and with a value. And whichever belief we hold, well, that's going to shape our choices, our relationships, and any hope we've got for the future. You know, when I was at my lowest, I believed I came from nothing, and I was nothing. What was the point of me? What was I here for? And that's just so horrible. I mean, what a horrible thing to think of yourself. A horrible place to be. But now I don't think like that anymore. Now I think completely differently. I believe I was created, that I've got a purpose, that I've got value. And the great news is, we all do. Maybe you've been in that same place that I was in, and you felt the same way as I did. I really hope you don't feel that way, but if you do, I recommend that you read Genesis with fresh eyes, through a different lens, and ask some questions. What does it tell you about God, his nature? And what does it tell you about yourself? Why you're here, what your purpose is, and where you get your value from? When you start to believe that you didn't come from nothing, and that you were created, you're going to come to the realization that you were created for something. When I realized and believed that I was created, I realized that my worth isn't based on what I am or who I am or my performance. Our worth is based on Christ and what he did for us. Our value, well, that comes from the sacrifice he made. There may be times where we think we're worthless, but he doesn't. He doesn't think that we were an accident. In Christ, nothing and no one is an accident. And through him, nothing is hopeless. All right, that's it for today. I hope this video resonated with you, and thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time.